All right, everybody, thanks for joining in once again. This episode, again, this is a recording session that we've recorded 2 new things during. It's insane for us. It's crazy, crazy. And this is brand new. Like, what is this, 2 weeks old, I think? Something like that? By the time this comes out, you never know. I mean, this might be a year old by the time it comes out. It's brand new for us. I think this aired the week before Halloween, or maybe 2 weeks before, if that. But anyway, we're talking about something brand new, 2020. In this episode, we're talking about Creepshow, the animated special.
Yeah, what came like out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting this because, last year we had Shudder, released season 1 of their Creepshow, streaming series, and then all of a sudden we get this animated version, and I was really excited to see this because I'm a huge fan of the Creepshow 1, Creepshow 2.
I wonder if this special came out of just the sheer, not necessity necessarily, but somebody at Shudder was probably like, oh crap, you know what, we're supposed to be coming out with Creepshow season 2 right now, or in a couple of months, and somebody was like, oh shit, that's right. And then somebody else was like, "Well, let's do an animated special. We can do that. I mean, people are doing voiceover work from home. No problem. Let's do that." While it looked very Creepshowy-ish and stuff, it was animated, so that's a little bit different than we're used to seeing with Creepshow for sure. But that's what I think this came from, was that they were supposed to be coming out with Creepshow 2, and I don't even know if they're even filming Creepshow season 2 yet.
I think that was said that it was going to be released next year or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Because originally I think it was supposed to be released like around now, like before pandemic and stuff, but it's like everything else, because we were supposed to get like we haven't gotten Stranger Things season 4 yet. Because of the pandemic, we haven't, there's some stuff that is missing out. We got Mandalorian season 2 actually came out, so that's cool. But, I mean, that's, for me anyway, that's where I kind of think this came from, was they were like, oh, we need to do something. Let's do this.
Yeah, I think it was, that makes sense. They would say, like, okay, well, we can't do a full thing, so we got to toss something together real quickly. And actually, when we look at this new Creepshow animated series, it really has that kind of feel to it, doesn't it?
Well, it's weird. Like, so there's 2 little short stories in this. It wasn't even an hour long. It was like 45 minutes or something. I would assume it was just long enough so, because Shudder is owned by AMC, so probably sometime next year they'll show this on the AMC channel itself, and so with commercials that have come out to an hour or so, I guess. But anyway, yeah, there's 2 short stories, and when both of the short stories started, I had the same feeling with both of them. I was kind of like, what is this? This isn't Creepshow. But by the time they were over, I was like, oh man, that was totally Creepshow. That's cool.
Tossed it in. I was really excited because I knew it was coming, and I didn't know. I forgot which day it was coming out. Just so happened to be on when I clicked on Shudder, and I was like, oh, cool, gonna watch this. And I sat back, watched it, and it's funny because Creepshow, to me, when I think of Creepshow, both of them, 1 and 2, I think of you. I think you were the one who introduced me to it, because I was always big in the slasher craze back in the day, like the Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy, and so I didn't really veer out into the other areas of horror that was going on back then, but you had picked up Creepshow 1, and you brought that over to my house one day, and we were like watching. And do you remember that time?
Yep.
And I think I did. You pick up the second one too?
I don't remember. I might have, because I remember getting one, or maybe I had one that was like recorded off of HBO or something, which I doubt because I didn't do that really. But I remember having I had one on like actual VHS at one point, and I remember us watching it all the time and stuff.
I remember you coming to my house
Yeah,
specifically,
but I
and
also remember getting Creepshow on tape for my 13th birthday, which my 13th birthday was the day that we moved away.
oh,
That
okay,
I must have got Creepshow 2 for VHS for my 13th birthday.
okay, yeah, because I remember you bringing them over. We would, strangely enough, it was like in October, and I do you remember the time? Okay, so we going back to the original Creepshow. I think it was the first one. We watched that at my house. Maybe it was the second one. I don't remember. And then this was like after school during a weekday, and then we took this long walk through the woods to the local Kmart, and we hung out there for a little bit, and then we went to the Hallmark, and I remember you stealing a Halloween candle type thing, and then we left that place from there. That's like burned in my brain and connected to Creepshow for whatever reason.
What's the statute of limitations where you're from?
We're all good.
Wouldn't that be something? A 44-year-old man was arrested for shoplifting he did 32 years ago.
Do you remember that?
No, I mean, I remember that store. I don't remember taking anything. And the reason why I don't remember taking anything is because we used to steal shit all the time.
Yeah, we went to that little Hallmark out there.
Which is so stupid because I remember the stuff that we used to snag. Because there was like 3 or 4 of us that would do it all, and it was always stupid shit. Because do you remember? Well, you probably don't because you would have never walked home with us. Because I mean, you lived 2 blocks away from school. But there was a couple of us that would walk down. Well, we'll say Main Street for the purposes
Sure.
of this. And there was this. I don't remember what exactly it was, if it was like an office supply store or what it was, but they had like paper and they had a bunch of pens and pencils and stuff in there. And I remember like we would go in there.
Oh, I know exactly what Papermate.
Yeah. Was that the actual store? It was a Papermate store?
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it was. I
Okay.
could be wrong.
But yeah, we would go in there and like snag like pens. And then,
Yes.
like, which one did you get? Oh, I got this one. It said it was $8. Which one did you get? I got this one. It said it was $6. Cool.
Weren't they ones that looked like had like little syringe type deals at the end? Remember those?
Yeah, but these were just like regular pens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or it would be stupid stuff like that. Or like, I remember somebody one time took, I want to say it was like a calculator or a ruler. Maybe it was a ruler with a calculator on it. But it was like solar powered, and we were like, man, that's awesome. And then,
Yeah.
like, never used it. With the pens and stuff. I mean, cool. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this $10 pen. Oh, that's cool. What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
I'm gonna take it home and put it in the pen drawer with the rest of the pens. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
So, but that that was forever ago. That would have been like
Gosh.
30
Yeah, I remember.
some years ago.
Didn't you have like the little? Remember those pens like where the very end of it had looked like a syringe almost? Remember those?
Just like being like super sharp, or
No. Like okay, so no, you had like the. Okay, so it's a pen, and then like the top part is like a regular pen or whatever with a tube, and then at the very like maybe like the last part up before the part where you write, it was like clear and it had like numbers going down the thing, and like the ink, like
yeah, I never had a
No?
pen like that. No,
okay.
I mean one of the other
somebody-
guys might have, but
Yeah, I think somebody used to take them from that place at that time.
yeah, I'm surprised we never got busted because we would go in there we'd go in there like a couple times a week
Yeah, I remember that.
and just take
Remember?
pens.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing all about that.
Or we would go to me and another buddy, we would go to Jewel,
Oh,
take Matchbox cars.
well, there you go.
So I mean, it wasn't like we were like doing like high crimes at the time. You know, we were stealing like stuff that's like 89 cents.
Probably worth a lot now, though.
Oh yeah, you never know. Yeah, probably. That's the weird thing. Have you ever seen anybody collecting, or I shouldn't say collecting, but a Hot Wheels or a Matchbox collector at like Walmart or Target or something?
Yeah, I think that Hot Wheels and Matchbox are still pretty collectible. I mean,
Oh, no, I mean like the guy that comes in, like when the shipment comes in and gets like a cart full of Matchbox cars.
well, that's probably the same guy who took all the Boba Fett's in the retro series.
Yeah, I saw, because I used to go to a Target that's by my office. You know, I would go not every day, but I'd go a couple times a week over lunchtime just for something to do. And there was a guy in there, and he must have either known somebody that worked there or just knew the schedule, because he would like show up while they were like shortly after they restocked the Matchbox aisle, and he would have a shopping cart, and I'm talking like 30, 40 different cars I've seen him get a couple of different times. You're like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those things out there that people like, those collectors for sure.
It's crazy. So, but anyway, yeah, we should probably talk about this creep show, huh?
Yeah, so strangely enough, it was only 2 stories, which kind of surprised me. It was like, well, it was only like a 45-minute show or whatever.
Right.
And I remember like when I told you I was watching it, I told like the first thing I said was like, wow, this is hardly really animation. This is more like a storybook, like almost like just like pages or whatever.
And I was already aware of that because whatever day it came out was the day that you told me about it, and I had already seen on like Facebook and a couple of different places where people, like, there were people that were like, oh man, the animation's really cool. But then there were other people that were like, this is stupid. Why didn't they just wait an extra month and animate it correctly and then release it?
Yeah, no, it's like they did like this very kind of cheap animation where it's almost like storybook, where they don't. It's not like a cartoon. And I was like looking back at the old Creepshow films. First one not so much, but the second one they did these little cartoon skits in between the stories, and they were cheaply done cartoons, but they were still full on cartoons. Where this is more like almost like you're like turning the pages of a book, like to get the story.
Right. And the other thing too that you can tell was, it worked, but there's the first story was narrated by Keith Sutherland, and then the second story was narrated by Joey King. And I was trying to remember, I don't think there was any other voices at all, were there?
I didn't dig that deep into it. I'm not sure.
I don't think there were.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of the things that I had first thought of when I had heard it was like that, like comic book type, storyboard type of animation, was I remember thinking to myself like, oh, that's going to be weird if like they're talking and stuff.
Yeah.
But then it didn't really seem like characters were really talking, because like I said, both stories are like narrated. They're not really, it's not like, there's not any conversations going on or anything.
No, there's not. It's kind of an interesting form of, and I'll be honest with you. Okay. So when Creepshow is like, to me, is like a high level property, like the first two. Okay. So believe it or not, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but there is a Creepshow 3. Did you ever see that? Abomination?
I've never seen it, but yeah, I've heard plenty about it.
Oh my goodness. I remember renting that thing. Like basically what happened was, okay, so I guess like the Creepshow title, like the name got released into the public where they could use the name to make a new movie, and whoever made the Creepshow 3, seriously, do not even waste your time looking it up on YouTube or anything. It is horrible. It's not even like, it should not be in the same category. It's like when I think of Creepshow 1 and Creepshow 2, that's like we're talking George A. Romero and Stephen King. These were like, and Tom Savini. This was some really quality people in the horror industry that were making these films. Those first two movies are like, those are gems. Those are classics, in my opinion. So I kind of, to be honest with you, like even with Shudder coming back with the Creepshow streaming and all that, as much as I thought it was enjoyable. And, Adrian Barbeau was in one of that episode, and what's his name? Tobin Bell from Saw was in one episode. There's some people here and there. But it's like, I really kind of, like, I'm kind of protective of that Creepshow property, because I think of it as like, kind of like, like it's one of those ones that we grew up with. It's a good high level property. So this cartoon and the way they did it, I'm a little bit disappointed with it in some ways, but at the same time, I'm trying to look past that a bit and just kind of look at it for what it was. I'll say this about it. I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy both stories. I thought the first story. What did you think of the first one with the doctor who ends up on the island?
That one was all right. It was okay. I actually liked the second one better.
Okay. Yeah, the second one was good too, but
yeah,
first one was pretty disturbing though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying before, because both of them, when they started out, you're kind of like, what is this? This is weird.
Yeah.
But then 20 minutes into it, you're like, fuck, man, this is Creepshow. This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of fall into it. You kind of fall into the vibe of it, and you kind of accept it for like, okay, this is modern Creepshow. Yeah, the first one was good. Is about this doctor who his airplane crashes and he's on this island. He has to survive, and then he has to basically kind of cut pieces of his body off to survive.
Basically, doing the whole old what do they say? This saying where like, oh, don't let him get a taste because then he's gonna want more.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
Yeah, he's trying to save himself didn't he end up basically being a head towards the end of the thing?
He was a torso and a head, because he started eating his hand, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, and then the second one, I remember the same thing with the second one, too, because when the second one starts, it's kind of weird because, like I said before, it's all narrated, but the second one basically is this, teenager, like, on whatever, I don't think they said, well, maybe, yeah, I think they actually kind of did suggest that it was Twitter that she was on, but she was basically like live tweeting this day. And,
yes. Yeah.
This road trip that they're on. And like I said before, like when it starts, I'm kind of like, oh, this is kind of weird. And then like 15 minutes later, I'm like, man, this is freaking great. This is Creepshow. This is awesome. They just know how to get you in there, and then once they get you in there, you're like,
it pulls you in. Like, yeah, you're like, okay, I get it. That you feel the vibe, and yeah, that second episode was really good too. I thought with like the carnival, they pull you. It's like this zombie carnival.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, without giving too much away, it was definitely worth it. I thought. I mean, I thought it was a really good. Yeah, I was surprised there were only two though. At least, I think at least they'd toss in the third one, but yeah. So would you, like I remember when I was talking to you when I was watching it, I was telling you, the animation's kind of weird. Were you thinking this was going to be just a kind of a crappy sea level thing?
I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I know, like I said, I had read a bunch of people, even before you had mentioned anything about it, that were complaining about it. But others were like, oh man, this is so cool. It's unique and it's new. So I went into it with an open mind. And the only thing that I would say that bugged me about the animation was it seemed like, and this is probably exactly what happened, because I work in software and this stuff happens. I know it happens. But anyway, I'm assuming they had a team of animators and they're like, all right, we need to crack this out in, let's say, a month. Get all this animation done in a month so we can get this out by Halloween. We already have, Keith Sutherland and Joey King. They've already done their narrations. We're good to go. Let's get this animation done. And they decided they were going to do this like storyboard type of animation, and they were going to go with it. And most of it, everything is like still and stiff. And then you have these other sequences where stuff is moving that it wasn't moving before. You know, just like with the way like people were moving and stuff and arms moving around. It just seemed like from scene to scene, like the actual animation was a little different.
Yeah.
Where it kind of, again, like kind of said what we were kind of talking about before. Even though I liked it and there was a lot of really cool things about it, you could definitely pick this apart on a bunch of different levels for being like coming across as cheap or coming across as
sure,
being well done and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of like you where like while I enjoyed it, there's part of me that kind of wishes at the same time because it wasn't one of these things where, well, partially because we didn't know it was coming because it was kind of like, oh, hey, there's this new Shudder thing coming. And then it was like out. But so there was no anticipation or build up for it really, for one thing. But the other thing is that neither one of those stories were so great that I was like, oh man, I'm so glad I finally saw that. I wish I would have seen that 10 years ago. Like, I didn't have that feeling at all. So me personally, I would have rather have waited a couple of months to actually have some decent animation with it. And like you had said, maybe even make it a little bit longer, you know, rather than it being less than an hour. No, why don't we fill it out? Let's make it a good 2 full hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like a film.
Right.
Film length. Yeah.
Yeah, let's make it like we've said before, with what Joe Bob does, like, hey, cool, we're going to have this new Creepshow thing. We're going to stream it exclusively at 8 Central on Friday night. And then it'll be available for streaming the next day. Kind of a thing. And like, oh, cool, Shudder event. This is going to be awesome. I'm glad they didn't do that because I think if they would have done that and like had this huge build-up with what this was, I think people would have been like pissed off. Like, oh, man, I was looking forward to that Creepshow thing for a month.
Yeah,
and then it
exactly.
was that?
Right, right. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And the reason I say that is it was entertaining. Now, again, like I talked about the Creepshow property, I think like I would like things to be a bit more, I want this property to be a bit more cared about. I'd like people to really care about what's going on with the Creepshow property because I really enjoy those first two. But again, at the end of the day, I think it was a Friday when I watched it, and I was into it. I got into it. I enjoyed it. And, you tossed a couple beers in and, why not? So I'm going to go ahead and thumbs up it.
Yeah, I'm going to say pretty much the same thing. It was one of those things. I liked the stories. I liked the voiceover work. I could have done without the weird animation, but again, I think I know why they did it that way.
Right.
So overall, I say I give it a thumbs up as well.
Awesome.